Lord plus Zerg plus Explosive Soldier plus Interstellar plus Invincible plus High Martial Arts. The ancient Earth civilization, after countless wars of blood and fire, ultimately became a member of the Cosmic Human Alliance, forming a vast empire spanning 9 major star regions. Feng, a young man from the Blue Source star domain, set out on the path to the trial planet of Iguous through unremitting efforts and perseverance in pursuit of his dream. The gears of fate began to rotate, as he used his hidden talent, the 100-fold Explosive Soldier, and the Zerg Mother Nest, which was considered garbage by the human eye, to create his own myth. P.S. The level setting draws inspiration from Swallowing the Starry Sky, and adds its own elements. If you like Yanzuyu Yen, why not come and take a look? Key words of the novel. Swallowing the Starry Sky. Starting from the Zerg's 100-fold Explosive Soldiers with no pop-ups, Swallowing the Starry Sky. Starting from the Zerg's 100-fold Explosive Soldiers. Download the full text. Swallowing the Starry Sky. Starting from the Zerg's 100-fold Explosive Soldiers. Read the latest chapter. Chapter 1. Galactic Empire, Warlord. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Galactic Empire, Warlord. Under the vast starry sky of the universe. I saw a spacecraft with a body length exceeding 100,000 meters, flying at a speed exceeding the speed of light. The emblem of the Galactic Empire Santiago War Academy can be seen on the outer layer of the spacecraft. The Galactic Empire. Civilization originating from Earth. Having gone through a development process spanning thousands of years. The Galactic Empire transcended the limitations of its parent star and entered the cosmic galaxy. And began to interact with other cosmic civilizations. Under the leadership of a peerless figure, after a series of bloodshed and post-war. The Galactic Empire has joined the camp of the Cosmic Human Alliance. Formally becoming a part of the great home of cosmic civilization. The mainstream practice schools in the current universe are mainly divided into 3 categories. The path of martial artists, the path of spiritual masters, and the path of warlords. The way of martial arts is to cultivate the physical body and constantly evolve body genes. Reaching a certain level, the body can cross the starry sky, and a punch can destroy a spaceship. Planetary-level warriors will awaken their own special abilities. Some people have special abilities like flame, some have special abilities like light, and some have special abilities like ice. Everyone has different talents and special abilities to awaken. And no matter what special ability awakens, it does not affect the warrior's dominant position. The cosmic lords who have reached the pinnacle of martial arts cultivation are said to be able to twist the entire Milky Way into fragments with just a flick of their fingers. Its power is simply unimaginable. Spiritual mindfulness master, cultivates spiritual and mental abilities. Reaching a certain level, able to manipulate psychic weapons to cut celestial bodies. Spanning billions of miles with the power of spirit. A planetary-level spiritual thinker is able to condense their own spiritual power into a singularity. Open up a virtual world exclusively for oneself with this singularity. The virtual world can be a hot flame world, a cold ice world, a vast ocean world, or a green forest world according to the preferences of each spiritual thinker. The virtual world condensed is also different. And no matter what kind of virtual world it is, it has the powerful function of connecting to the real universe. As long as one's thoughts move and the mind covers, it can immerse billions of living beings on the entire planet into a virtual world, unable to extricate their thoughts, until their physical functions are exhausted and they die. The strength of spiritual masters is not inferior to that of warriors. It is also the fundamental path to cultivate into a cosmic hegemon and the ultimate strength. These 2 major cultivation systems have been passed down in the Human Universe Alliance for a long time, with a development history of billions of years. There are countless cosmic hegemons born of it. It is a recognized orthodox way of practice by various forces in the universe. The cultivation method of warlords has only become popular in recent years. Warlords, as the name suggests. This cultivation system requires continuous cultivation through war. Although it has only become popular in recent years, looking at the long history of the universe, it has also gone through millions of years of development. During this period, many cosmic hegemons were also born. Even the supreme beings at the level of gods have become masters of war. To this day, the cultivation path of warlords has developed relatively well. When it comes to development potential, it is no less than the orthodox way of martial arts and the way of spiritual enlightenment. The three mainstream cultivation systems each have their own advantages and disadvantages, but their core goal is only one. That is to become the supreme ruler of the universe. San Diego War Academy. It is one of the four major war academies of the Galactic Empire. From its name, it can be seen that it followed the path of a warlord. The San Diego War Academy continues an ancient system called the College Entrance Examination, which originated from its home planet Earth. Every 3 years, the Academy selects young boys and girls with the talent of warlords from thousands of life planets under the rule of the Galactic Empire, and absorbs them into the Academy to replenish fresh blood. As one of the 3 major war academies of the Galactic Empire, the San Diego War Academy may not even be considered superficial in the vast universe. After all, the Galactic Empire is just an elementary kingdom in the universe. However, within the Galactic Empire, the San Diego War Academy holds a high status, has long been renowned, and is well known to women and children. It is a holy land of cultivation in the eyes of countless young men and women, regarded as the cradle for cultivating warlords and imperial elites. Its status is somewhat similar to that of Qingbei University in the ancient Earth era, a country of the Chinese Empire. Through a hierarchical selection system similar to the ancient college entrance examination system, talents with the talent of warlords are selected to join the college and strengthen and develop the college. What the college needs to do now is a selection process similar to the ancient college entrance examination system. It is called the Planet Trial. Only those who have passed the Planet Trial are eligible to ultimately enter the Academy. The total number of people participating in the Planet Trial this time reached 3 million, including men and women, from various life planets, all with youthful and vibrant faces. These 3 million people will be deployed to the trial planet called Iguous. Igor is a living planet approximately 16 times the size of Earth's parent planet and is a private property of the San Diego War Academy. It is a trial planet dedicated to training one's own students at the San Diego War Academy. It has a history of at least 300 years as a place of trial, during which, through continuous exploration by the San Diego War Academy, it was discovered that there are various types of life on the planet, including elves, orcs, dwarves, ferocious beasts, savage beasts, demons, dragons. Various strange forms of life. These living beings have developed their own civilization. However, there was no planetary existence born, so it was unable to break free from the limitations of planets and venture into the universe. It was ultimately discovered by the exploration team of the Galactic Empire and later conquered by the San Diego War Academy. The universe is really vast. Feng stood inside the canopy of the spacecraft, admiring the dazzling scenery constantly passing by from the outside, his eyes filled with longing and awe. The canopy cabin is made of special glass materials. While resisting various radiation erosion in space, it can present various scenes in the universe to the maximum extent possible in front of the personnel inside the spacecraft. Being immersed in it feels like being truly in space, allowing one to feel the baptism of cosmic energy in a mysterious way. In addition to Feng, there are also many students who participate in the Planet Trial, wandering inside the Tianmu module, enjoying the magnificent scenery of the universe, exchanging intelligence information related to the trial, or silently experiencing the external cosmic energy for cultivation. I really don't know what the environment for Planet Trials is like. I heard it's a life planet similar to Earth's mother planet, surrounded by a sea of land, where various life groups live. Even dragons exist. Yun Feng looked out at the dazzling and magnificent scenery of the universe, his eyes filled with anticipation. He is one of the 3 million reserve students from the San Diego War Academy who participated in the planet trials and possessed the talent of a warlord. If he can successfully pass the planet trial, he will become a glorious and powerful warlord and join the San Diego War Academy. This is the dream he has always been looking forward to. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Hope for the Whole Village, Declaration of Life. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Hope for the Whole Village, Declaration of Life. I must become a powerful warlord and never let down my parents, siblings, and even those uncles and aunts' expectations of me. Yun Feng looked out at the brilliant and magnificent scenery of the universe outside the cabin canopy, which contained a deep sense of fighting spirit in his eyes full of longing. Having the talent of a warlord and participating in the planet trials at the San Diego War Academy through multiple rounds of selection is his luck. It is also his greatest misfortune. He came from a poor family at the bottom of the Galactic Empire. I never had the opportunity to come into contact with such an existence as the San Diego War Academy. After thousands of years of development, the Galactic Empire has already formed a social form with distinct classes and strict hierarchy. From top aristocrats, officials, billionaires, to elites, the middle class, and then to ordinary commoners, the lower class poor, and unidentified slaves. The class gap between them is insurmountable. Based on past enrollment ratios, those who can join the San Diego War Academy must at least come from middle-class families. As for those children from low-income families, simply attend a vocational and technical school, learn the skills to make a living, and serve the elderly well. Reading and practicing, getting ahead of oneself, think about it even if you don't want to. You don't deserve it at all. No qualifications, okay. When testing the talent of warlords, Yun Feng was rated as C level, meeting the basic criteria. It is also allowed to participate in this planet trial. Becoming a student of the San Diego War Academy, Yun Feng was entrusted with the strong expectations of his family. In the words of the ancient Earth era, he is the hope of the entire village. And this is precisely his greatest misfortune. Yun Feng, who comes from the bottom of the poor, has no money or power, and cannot afford to buy a valuable Mother Nest core. The core of the path of warlords lies in the core of their Mother Nest. After the warlords merge the Mother Nest core, they can utilize the fused Mother Nest core within their bodies, consume resources, and create the main building of the Mother Nest outside. Then the main body of the Mother Nest can nurture various types of soldiers by consuming corresponding resources. Warriors born from their mother's nest are completely obedient to the commands of warlords. The warlord continuously plunders resources from the outside by commanding the warriors of his mother's nest, improving the strength of his soldiers and advancing the ranks of his mother's nest. During this period, it will also enhance the individual strength of warlords. The way of warlords is named war because they have to constantly engage in warfare, plunder a large amount of resources, and enhance the strength of their mother nest and soldiers, which is why they are named after it. The resource consumption required for promotion far exceeds that of martial artists and spiritual masters. In other words, the way of a warlord is the way of burning money. Don't come without money, resources, or talent. Because you can't afford to play it all. Yun Feng has talent but lacks money and resources, which is his greatest misfortune. The prerequisite for participating in the planet trial is that students have their own nest core. Otherwise, will you fight the enemy empty-handed? In order to participate in the planet trial, Yun Feng's family borrowed 10 million stars from the Imperial Central Galaxy to purchase a mother nest core for Yun Feng. Although the core of that mother nest is only the lowest quality, the lowest grade scrap. But this 10 million loan is almost overwhelming Yun Feng. He can only repay this loan and ensure a good life for his family by becoming a warlord. This is also his greatest expectation, his will to strive. I, Yun Feng, must become a warlord. Yun Feng faced the starry sky outside the cabin and silently shouted out his life declaration. And in the eyes of several students not far away, there was only a look of disdain and contempt on their faces. Perhaps the journey was too lonely, wanting to find some flavor, only to see those few students walking towards Yun Feng. They are dressed in luxurious and valuable clothes, pants, and shoes, all of which are branded. They cost at least hundreds of thousands of stars to wear. It's not even Yun Feng's, the street vendors that cost a few tens of yuan can be compared. Even as a poor person like you, you want to become a warlord and not pay to take care of yourself. Do you deserve it? The student led by him immediately began to humiliate Yun Feng, his eyes full of frivolity and contempt. He is the one who comes to provoke the students, with the best food and clothing, and also the most arrogant and domineering. This is closely related to his background, and his name is Duandong River. His mother is a director of the security group, holding 60% of the shares and having absolute say in assets worth billions of stars. And his father is a counselor on an administrative star, with an unimaginable amount of power that cannot be measured by much wealth. The mother of the director and the father of the official gave Duandong an unparalleled background and received elite education from a young age. This made him look down upon Yun Feng's lower class poor at all. Duandong, I know you come from a privileged family, but you can't look down on others' dreams. I said I will definitely become a warlord, so I will definitely become a warlord. 30 years east of the river, 30 years west of the river, let's wait and see. Faced with the humiliation of the Duandong River, Yun Feng slammed back loudly. Upon hearing Yun Feng's tough declaration, Duandong couldn't help but burst into laughter. Ha ha ha, 30 years of Hedong and 30 years of Heshi. Do you think you are the protagonist of a novel? You have golden fingers. Let me tell you that in today's society, a commoner like you should be mentally prepared to serve us, the upper class, and be steadfast for a lifetime. Just you low-level bastards, trying to turn over and get ahead is just wishful thinking. It's like the same sentence I just said, pee and shine on yourself. You bastards don't deserve it, The Duandong River shames Yun Feng with immense arrogance. Even in the Star River era, the root of human evil has not changed at all, and there are still people who take pleasure in humiliating their own kind. Yun Feng clenched his fist but did not refute it again. His family background does not support him in making impulsive decisions. When faced with such blatant humiliation as the Duandong River, one can only remain angry and silent. I heard that the core of your mother's nest is the lowest and most disadvantaged insect. Such garbage has no future at all. I advise you to give up as soon as possible, so as not to become a defense for the giant dragon on the trial planet. Even the tiny bug wants to turn over. It's really wishful thinking, daydreaming. Duandong, along with his followers, sought a sense of superiority from humiliating Yun Feng. After finding happiness, he laughed heartily and left. Yun Feng, with a face full of anger and clenched fists, looked at the background of Duandong River's arrogant departure, his eyes full of determination. Duandong River, wait for me, I will definitely prove it to you. Even tiny insects have the right to look up at the stars and gather strength to devour the giant dragon. I, Yun Feng, will definitely be a warlord. No one can stop me. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Planet Trial Comes, Initial Location Forest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Planet Trial Comes, Initial Location Forest. The spacecraft heading towards the trial planet Iguous slowly slowed down. A massive blue life planet slowly appeared in the sight of everyone inside the spacecraft. The volume of Iguous is 16 times that of the Earth's parent planet, and the ratio of ocean to land is 5.5, which divides the entire planet in half. This is quite different from the ecological environment of the Earth's parent planet. As the destination arrived, a mechanical electronic prompt sounded inside the spacecraft. This is the sound emitted by artificial intelligence that controls the entire spacecraft's movement. Ladies and gentlemen, students of the San Diego War Academy, the destination of this trip is the planet where the trial is located in Iguous. Please prepare yourselves, students of the San Diego War Academy. In 30 minutes, all students will start to enter the planet trial site. The continuous broadcast prompts reminded every student inside the spacecraft to come back to their senses from their own affairs, and they all came to the canopy cabin to look at the life planet Iguous outside the sky, which seemed to be close at hand. Their eyes showed various emotions: anticipation, excitement, fear, and unease. Not all the same. Each student in the spacecraft has their own room. In Feng's room, listening to the broadcast from the spaceship, his face was filled with a complex expression of anxiety, anticipation, and hope intertwined. My mother's nest core is of the lowest quality, and I don't know if I can successfully complete the trial. After taking a deep breath and calming his emotions, Feng thought of his parents and family and said firmly, "Anyway, I will become a warlord and never let down the expectations of my parents, siblings, and uncles." In the continuous broadcast of artificial intelligence, Feng silently checked what he wanted to carry. The compressed backpack to be carried is opened, containing an alloy battle, an alloy shield, various healing potions, high-energy food sufficient for 1.5 months, compressed water resources, energy crystals, and other miscellaneous items. These are standard items provided by the San Diego War Academy for each student. Every student has it, achieving impartiality. After all, in this small matter, such a large college can still achieve absolute fairness. As for whether you will carry more item resources, the college cannot control it. As long as it is not a prohibited item, the college will basically not manage it. After all, many of the students who participated in the planet trial came from privileged families, and there are many who exist like the broken East River. Many of their parents and elders behind them are shareholders and directors of the college. It is an unwritten rule of the San Diego War College to properly care for the descendants of the shareholders and directors. A child from a poor family like Feng naturally cannot enjoy such care. He can only receive standard supplies and wait for the college's deployment. The 30-minute preparation time is over. Under the guidance of artificial intelligence, the spacecraft began to shuttle into the planet's atmosphere, enter the interior of the planet, and begin to launch towards the ground. Iguous is 16 times larger than the Earth's parent planet. The surface area of the planet's land is dozens of times larger than that of the Earth's mother sphere. Even if 3 million students were to enter this vast area, it would not show anything at all. The initial placement of each student is carefully calculated by the artificial intelligence brain, separated by a long distance, which is sufficient for their development and growth. 3 million students will be deployed in batches. The artificial intelligence brain divides it into 30 sessions, with each session featuring 100,000 students, with a 5-minute interval between each session. Feng was assigned the 16th batch of deployment, and after the first 15 waves of people landed on the planet, Feng was deployed as a capsule. 5 meters high, with a diameter of 2 meters, the capsule-like drop pod descended from the sky to different positions on the planet like meteors. Someone has descended into the forest, someone has descended into the desert, someone has descended into the mountains, and some have descended into the ocean. In short, the initial landing position is entirely determined by the random algorithm of artificial intelligence, which is beyond human intervention. This is where the senior management of the college ensures fairness. During a planet trial, the management of a college took bribes and planned in advance the arrival locations of certain students, allowing them to have an advantage in the trial. After being reported by a certain news media, this incident caused a huge uproar within the Galactic Empire and was criticized by people from all walks of life. The reputation of the San Diego War Academy faced a huge challenge, and in the end, the dean personally came forward to punish the relevant personnel and donated $50 billion in construction costs to the government in order to finally quell the controversy. After the scandal of favoritism and fraud, the planet trials at the San Diego War Academy were conducted entirely using artificial intelligence, ensuring absolute fairness. The college mentors only observe and record the situation with the spacecraft, and they can only take action at critical moments. At other times, we can only watch the entire process and absolutely allow any interference or action. The capsule cabin where Feng was located fell from a height of hundreds of thousands of meters, smashing straight towards the ground like a meteor. Finally descended into a dense jungle. In order to maximize the development and growth of students, their landing areas are carefully planned by artificial intelligence brains. Within a range of 100,000 square kilometers, there will never be a situation where two students meet. Each student has an initial activity area of at least tens of thousands of square kilometers. In the early stages of the trial, it was difficult for the students to encounter each other unless someone used some special means. Is my place of descent in the forest? Feng observed the ecological environment below through a virtual screen inside the deployment module. He calmly observed the environment below, paying attention to any danger. If there was any danger, he could control the launch capsule and deviate from the dangerous position in advance. Observing the approaching environment through the capsule compartment, Feng's eyes were filled with a cautious expression. Be careful when sailing a ship for thousands of years, any carelessness may ruin your own life. After all, every planet trial at the San Diego War Academy has a significant mortality rate, with many participants dying on the trial planet. Yes, planet trials are not necessarily safe. Every time there is a trial, someone dies. In order to become superior and powerful, there are still countless people in the Galactic Empire who participate in the planetary trials one after another. Among them, there are many low-level poor people like Feng who try to change their destiny and make a name for themselves through the planet trial. After all, as long as you enter the San Diego War Academy, you are equivalent to getting a ticket to the upper echelons of society. Many generals and marshals in the Galactic Empire come from the San Diego War Academy and have studied there. Establishing relationships with top figures is the vision of countless talented and hardworking individuals from poor backgrounds. Becoming a student at the San Diego War Academy is the first step for countless ordinary people to achieve a leap in life. This is quite similar to the college entrance exam of the Earth era, where getting into a prestigious school is the first battle for countless families at the bottom to achieve a turnaround. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Mother's Nest Core, the beginning of development. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Mother's Nest Core, the beginning of development. Great, there is no danger within 1,000 miles below. Through the inspection of artificial intelligence, Feng determined that there were no two dangerous life forms within a 1,000-mile radius below, and then controlled the capsule delivery module to determine the landing position. Finally, he landed in a valley in the dense forest. In the valley surrounded by dense jungle, Feng's capsule delivery capsule landed safely. The cabin door opened, and Feng stepped out of it. His backpack was placed inside the capsule compartment, while he himself walked around the capsule compartment with a knife and a shield in hand, as if facing a great enemy. After confirming that the surroundings were safe and secure again, they began to build their own mother nest. He has already completed the fusion with the core of the mother nest in advance. Now all you need to do is follow the teachings in The Lord of War, to create your own nest and nurture your own army. Then you can embark on the path of resource plunder to enhance your own strength. The place where Feng first descended, located in the small mountain valley, is surrounded by huge trees and shrubs. The trees are visible as high as 40 to 50 meters, and the trees are also as low as 10 to 10 meters. In addition, the dense shrub jungle is very helpful for hidden vision. Moreover, there were no overly powerful life forms around, which greatly reduced Feng's trouble in dealing with danger. It has been confirmed that the surrounding environment is safe and secure, with abundant resources and a hidden view, making it a suitable environment for creating a mother nest. Feng let out a secret in his heart, and then began the great cause of building his mother's nest. Building a mother's nest is the starting point for a warlord and also the first step in their career. This step must be done well, as any mistakes made during it can have a significant impact on subsequent growth and development. Start building the mother nest. With Yun Feng's command, a plump bug crawled out of the capsule compartment. Then slowly climbed to the location determined by Yun Feng, and the plump insect, like a plant rooting, gradually transformed into a large egg. As time passed, the volume of the large egg began to continuously increase, directly covering a 10-meter radius of open space. At the same time, the large egg kept rising and falling, as if the heart was beating, indicating that internal life was being nurtured. This plump insect is the core of Yun Feng's mother nest. Due to limited funds, he can only obtain the lowest quality and inferior mother nest core. Even his mother nest core is a defective product that no one wants. It is the core of the mother nest of the lowest level Zerg. The core of the mother nest is divided into 3 major qualities: low, medium, and high. The higher the quality of the mother nest core, the stronger and more powerful the troops that can be nurtured after creation. Just like the low-quality goblin mother nest core, the goblin warriors it nurtures have only a crushing chance in front of the dragon warriors it nurtures in the high-level dragon mother nest core. And the core of Yunfeng's mother nest is even lower than the low-quality goblin mother nest core, which is a low-quality product that does not enter the market, and a broken quality Zerg mother nest core. The existence it nurtures is a bug that humans can stomp on and die from. This is also an important reason why Yun Feng was teased by Duandong and others. No one would think that insects could make any progress. However, Yun Feng believed that even the weakest insects could grow into terrifying beings that devour dragons. Incubation and creation of the Zerg Mother Nest core requires 100 points of cosmic standard energy. Please invest energy crystals. Feeling feedback from the core of the mother nest, Yun Feng immediately took out the energy crystals prepared in his capsule compartment. Then put it into the hatching egg. Energy crystal can be considered both a universal currency and an energy resource in the universe. It has many uses, whether it is spacecraft, energy guns, robots, or even cultivation. It cannot do without energy crystals, which can be used in many aspects. An energy crystal is equivalent to 100 points of standard cosmic energy. Its selling price in the Galactic Empire is 100,000 stars, which is not something that Yun Feng can afford. And this energy crystal was not purchased by Yun Feng himself, but was the initial material provided by the Academy to each planet trial participant. The initial materials are all standardized, and no one will have more or less. Of course, things brought by others themselves are not included in the initial supplies. The more initial materials, the higher the starting point, and the higher the achievements and development that can be achieved in the future. In addition to the standard initial supplies uniformly distributed by the college, many student participants will carry their own supplies. For this situation, the college side is turning a blind eye. After all, the starting point for each student is inherently different. If you want children from ordinary families to have the same conditions as those from official families, it's simply impossible. Some things are basically determined from the moment of birth. After 100 points of cosmic standard energy input, the large egg continued to expand at a visible speed, beating like a heart. At the same time, its volume continued to increase, and soon it was about the size of a house. During the period when the large egg continued to grow, all the grasslands and trees encountered by the expanded part were swallowed up and turned into their own nutrients. That style appears particularly domineering. It looks quite impressive. My Yun Feng's mother nest is definitely not someone else's low-quality or broken product. Even the weak and lowly insects, Yun Feng, can cultivate them into beings capable of devouring dragons. Yun Feng looked at the large egg that was constantly hatching and growing, his eyes filled with ambition and determination. After about half an hour of incubation, the large egg finally stopped expanding and its heart-like beating stopped. Then I saw the large egg, which covered an area of 100 square meters and was 20 meters high, the size of a basketball court, explode and leak out the final building inside. even if the body of the Zerg Mother Nest is located. As for the core of the Zerg Mother's Nest, which has integrated with Feng, he himself is the core of this massive building in front of him. The form of the Zerg Mother Nest is filled with countless holes, similar to a honeycomb but surrounded by more than 20 tentacles, which is a strange existence. Inside the countless holes, there were constantly crawling insects that were as big as caterpillars, and those small insects kept crawling back and forth on the mucus. It doesn't look very good visually. However, Feng didn't think anything of it. After all, these little insects would breed into his army to fight in all directions in the future. How could he despise his own soldiers? The small insects that crawl back and forth are called larvae, which are the basic insects, basic troops, and basic units of the Zerg Mother Nest. It itself has no combat capability, but it can develop into other Zerg units. This is the difference between the Zerg Mother Nest and other mother nests. For example, the Galactic Mother Nest directly consumes resources and breeds Galactic warriors. And the mother nest of the Zerg tribe also needs to first breed larvae, which then develop into other combat units. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. 3 Major Service Units, Million Star Loan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 3 Major Service Units, Million Star Loan. List the combat units that can currently be nurtured. Feng communicated with the Zerg Mother Nest and asked for the information he wanted to know. Quickly, the Zerg Mother Nest provided feedback. Mother Nest current level. First level Zerg Mother Nest. The current Mother Nest can incubate military units. Male insect, scout insect, and raptor insect. 0 level unit, male insect. Capable of collecting various resources and returning to the mother nest to convert them into cosmic energy, possessing weak combat ability in slow speed. Each male insect needs to consume 0.5 points of cosmic energy to hatch, 1 larva, and incubate for 1 minute. The male insect has the ability to evolve again. 0 level unit, reconnaissance worm. A unit without combat capability, with a small size and extremely fast speed, capable of adapting to many environments and detecting enemy intelligence information. Each scout insect hatches, consuming 1 point of cosmic energy, 1 larva, incubating for 2 minutes, and possessing the ability to evolve again. First level unit, Velociraptor. A basic melee unit in land warfare, with strong combat ability and good speed, and a comprehensive combat index equivalent to that of a junior human warrior. Each Velociraptor requires 5 cosmic energy points to hatch, 1 larva, incubation time of 10 minutes, and has the ability to evolve again. We can only incubate 3 types of troops, and only 2 types of troops have no combat ability at all. Even the Velociraptor with combat ability is only equivalent to a beginner's warrior, which is simply too weak. Sure enough, there are no good products at a low price. The incomplete Zerg Mother Nest core, worth 10 million stars, cannot compare to those quality guaranteed Mother Nest core, priced at several hundred million yuan. However, it is said that the lowest level Goblin Mother's Nest core has a selling price of up to 600 million stars, while the Dragon Mother's Nest core, which claims to be able to hatch dragon warriors, can even reach a terrifying 1 billion stars. It's simply terrifying. Even if I were to be dismembered and sold, I wouldn't be able to sell so many stars. Thinking of the various types of mother nest cores that he had come into contact with before, Feng couldn't help but feel emotional. Xingyuan is the legal tender of the Galactic Empire. The unified circulation and issuance will be carried out by the Imperial Central Bank in collaboration with the Imperial Ministry of Finance, approved by the Supreme Council of the Empire, and finally signed and confirmed by the President. The human civilization originating from Earth, after thousands of years of development, has a population size of over 8 trillion, with populations distributed on hundreds of life planets and footprints almost covering the entire Milky Way galaxy. Especially under the leadership of a great figure 200 years ago, the Galactic Empire achieved good reputation in the Human Universe Alliance. There are signs of breaking away from primary civilization and being promoted to intermediate civilization. Within the vast galactic empire, the purchasing power of the star element is similar to that of the soft sister coins of the Earth era, and there is no shortage of ordinary civilians in the empire in terms of clothing, food, housing, and transportation. What they lack is the capital for cultivation. Just like a cultivator who wants to follow the path of a warlord, just preparing for the core of the mother nest in the early stage requires an initial investment of hundreds of millions of stars. This is just the most basic investment, and the amount of funds needed in the future is unknown. For those top billionaires, it's naturally nothing. For someone like Yun Feng who has talent but comes from a poor background, it is simply unbearable despair. Even for the lowest quality damaged item, the Zerg Mother Nest core, Yun Feng and his family had to drain all their resources and obtain an indefinite loan to buy it. The meaning of an indefinite loan is to repay the loan until you die. Of course, given his current limited earning ability, if Yun Feng were to be promoted to a warlord in the planet trial, a loan of only 10 million stars would be nothing to a warlord. The personnel of the Imperial Central Bank also valued Yun Feng's C-level talent before deciding to lend money to their family. Otherwise, the families of the poor at the bottom would not be able to borrow a penny from the Imperial Central Bank. The officials of the Imperial Central Bank would never lend money to the poor, even if they let Xing Yuan sleep in the treasury. This is a consensus among banking professionals. Rushing to give money to the wealthy who don't need it, but unwilling to lend half a penny to the poor. Yun Feng doesn't understand this truth. He only knows that in order for his family to live a good life, he must strive to become a powerful warlord. Otherwise, a loan of 10 million will crush their entire family. Although I don't have the huge financial support of those excellent students and seed students, as long as I firmly believe in myself, I will definitely achieve dazzling achievements and ensure that my parents, siblings, and all of them have a good life. Let me take a look at the situation before hatching one from each of the three major branches. Yun Feng thought to himself and then gave orders to the Zerg Mother Nest. Hatch one male worm, one scout worm, and one velociraptor worm. With Yun Feng's command, the three larvae in the Zerg Mother Nest immediately turned into 3 insect eggs. As time passed, the 3 insect eggs grew larger and larger at a speed visible to the naked eye. 1 minute later, the first insect egg explodes. 2 minutes later, the second insect egg exploded. 10 minutes later, among the 3 insect eggs, the last one also exploded. The insect that crawled out of the first egg is the male insect, which is a miner-like character in the Zerg Mother Nest. It can collect various resources to feed back the growth of the Zerg Mother Nest. The insect that crawled out of the second egg is called a scout, a character similar to a scout in the Zerg Mother Nest. Its size is incredibly small, it has extremely fast speed, can adapt to many environments, and can detect enemy intelligence information. Both of these are units without combat capabilities, and the resources and energy required for incubation are relatively small, with only 0.5 units and 1 unit of cosmic energy. Compared to the 10,000 cosmic energy required for Dragon Warrior hatching, this consumption is simply too small and insignificant. However, you get what you pay for. The strength of the Dragon Warrior is widely recognized, and even newly born Dragon Warriors have advanced warriors comparable to warriors, with incredibly strong physical bodies that can ignore firearms and shoot. The fist power of a single arm attack by a Dragon Warrior can reach 4T, with an instantaneous speed of 60 meters per second, which means that for a Dragon Warrior, it only takes over a second to reach a distance of 100 meters and has the ability to fly. Its combat effectiveness and comprehensive quality are absolutely unparalleled. When facing the Dragon Warrior, Yun Feng's bugs will definitely only be crushed. Perhaps they can blow away countless bugs in one breath. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Hidden Talent, 100 times Explosive Weapon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 Hidden Talent, 100 times Explosive Weapon. The insect that crawled out of the third egg is called the velociraptor, which is the basic land combat unit in the Zerg clan's Mother Nest and currently the only one among the 3 major units with combat capabilities. Its body shape is the size of an adult wolf dog, with sharp claws and a tail, making it appear somewhat ferocious. The Velociraptor possesses strong combat abilities and good speed, with a comprehensive combat index equivalent to that of a beginner human warrior. The cultivation levels within the Galactic Empire are divided as follows: Student level, Warrior level, and War God level. The student level is further divided into 3 levels: Beginner level, Intermediate level, and Advanced level. Junior student. With a single-arm fist strength of 200 kilograms and an instantaneous speed of 10 meters per second. Intermediate student. With a single-arm fist strength of 400 kilograms and an instantaneous speed of 15 meters per second. Advanced student. With a single-arm fist strength of 800 kilograms and an instantaneous speed of 20 meters per second. One by one, they were existence comparable to little Superman in the era of Earth. However, the existence of student-level individuals is only the lowest level within the spiritual system of the Galactic Empire. Students are students who are still learning. For ordinary people, this stage still requires a period of practice to reach. But for some talented geniuses, they simply pass without considering the student level. For those geniuses, warrior level is the beginning of cultivation. After all, as long as one strives to cultivate, everyone can reach the student level, which really lacks technical skills. Only at the warrior level can the gap between people be distinguished. A warrior level existence cannot be killed by regular hot weapons, and requires the use of advanced hot weapons. The Velociraptor was only equivalent to a junior student among human warriors, which disappointed Yun Feng a bit. However, his disappointment was soon replaced by surprise. Just as its troops were hatching, a white light suddenly flashed through the Zerg Mother Nest, followed by male, scout, and Velociraptor insects walking out of the Zerg Mother Nest one by one. 1, 2, 3. I've already gone over 100. What's going on here? It was not until 100 male insects, 100 scout insects, and 100 scout insects emerged from the Zerg Mother Nest that the operation of the Zerg Mother Nest completely came to a halt, stopping the incubation and breeding of troops. Yun Feng, who witnessed this scene, opened his mouth wide and stared blankly at the strange event happening before him. His eyes were filled with a look of suspicion. 100 times the number of troops. What is the situation? Is it God who sees me as too pitiful and doesn't reward me? Is it a hidden talent? Yun Feng muttered to himself, and a hint of contemplation flashed in his eyes. When he was studying at school, he heard about some amazing warlords who possessed more than just one talent. In addition to the explicit talent of awakening, they also possess hidden talents. It is said that the first dean of the San Diego War Academy, in addition to his awakened talent, also possessed a hidden talent for warlords, commanding his troops across the universe and creating a glorious reputation for the Galactic Empire. A peerless figure who is respectfully referred to as the Soldier Master. Yun Feng once read about this period of history, where the 300 insects that appeared out of thin air made him doubt that he might also have some hidden talent. His awakened warlord has a talent of C-level speed boost, which can increase the speed of his troops by 20%, giving them more agile and flexible mobility. The talents of warlords are divided into SSS, SS, S, A, B, C, D. These 7 levels also represent the future development potential of a warlord. Nature is a higher level talent, and its future development potential is better. At the same level, warlords with D-level talents have only a crushing chance in front of warlords with S-level talents. Yun Feng's C-level talent can only be considered as a medium to low level among the talents of warlords. Even if one can become a warlord, without great opportunities, their future achievements will be limited. What Yun Feng never expected was that he might have hidden warlord talents beyond the C-level talent, speed boost. After communicating with the Zerg Mother Nest and thinking for a while, Feng figured out the key points. If I'm not mistaken, I should have a hidden talent, but I don't know what the specific effects of that hidden talent are, and there's no consensus on the specific level. However, from the current perspective, it should be a talent in the explosive weapon category, which can increase my troops by 100 times out of thin air. Let me call you 100 times explosive weapon for now. Feng thought to himself and then turned his gaze to the troops under his command, 303 insects, with a faint gleam in his eyes. If there are too many ants and they bite the elephant, even the smallest and most humble insects, as long as they have enough, I still don't believe they can't turn over. Although my 3 major branches of the army have not performed well in combat, their incubation requires much lower resource and energy compared to other branches of the army. In addition, my talent of 100 times explosive soldiers allows me to incubate and nurture a huge army of insect tribes under limited resource and energy conditions. As long as my Zerg army is large enough, even if your dragon comes, it will devour you completely. Resources, all development cannot do without resources. What I need most now is resources. Thinking of the limited resources that he had already bottomed out in order to build his mother's nest, Feng scanned the outside world with 2 bright eyes, and then refocused his gaze on his 303 troops. I now command you to bring back all the resources around you that can be plundered. As Feng's command was given, the 303 insects without hesitation began to execute Feng's command, dispersing around the Zerg Mother Nest in search of all available resources. Then bring it back from plunder, convert it into cosmic energy for the Zerg Mother Nest, and incubate and nurture new Zergs. Under the command of Feng, 101 reconnaissance insects took the lead and went to the forefront to investigate the situation. Then, through a special communication channel, the information is transmitted to the following males and velociraptors. The male insect is responsible for collecting resources, while the swift insect is responsible for combat and safety issues. Once the reconnaissance insect discovers valuable resources, it notifies the male insect to quickly go and collect resources. 101 male bees, under Feng's everything command, immediately began to collect resources, various minerals, and energy. These male bees will definitely not pass by. Even if they encounter plants, those male bees will not let go. After all, plants can also be considered a type of biological resource. In the history of the rise of the Galactic Empire, there was a magical existence called the spirit of plants and trees. It is a treasure derived from the transformation of herbaceous plants. Each spirit of herbs can be called the essence of heaven and earth, and has special effects. For example, some plant spirits can increase physical fitness by about 6.10 times, and the maximum increase is the peak of the advanced god of war. A spirit of grass and trees can directly elevate a high-level warrior to a medium war god, or even a high-level war god, and there is also a large amount of medicinal effects lurking in the body. As cultivation gradually absorbs them, the strength will improve quickly. It can be said that a spirit of grass and trees is almost equivalent to a higher god of war. It can be seen that plants also have great utilization value. So far, Feng has not found any plants as precious as the spirit of plants and trees. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. The Mother Nest of the Zerg Clan, the Beginning of Development. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. The Mother Nest of the Zerg Clan, the Beginning of Development. Whenever they encounter plants with practical value, Feng will use their sharp claws to bite off the roots and stems of those plants, and then drag them back to the Zerg Mother Nest. After being absorbed and transformed into usable energy materials by the Zerg Mother Nest. Not only did the common plant male insect not let go, but even the towering trees were within the range of resource plunder by the male insect. In the unique geographical environment, plants that are nurtured possess strong and vigorous vitality, especially tall trees that have grown for a long time. The vitality contained in them is definitely an excellent biological resource. The acquisition of other biological resources may be limited for other types of troops, but there is no restriction at all for male insects. Even if the giant pine trees, which have grown for hundreds of years, have skin as hard as iron and are difficult to bite, the male insects will open their jaws wide, extend a sharp mouthpiece, and pierce into the bodies of those trees, using their special physiological structures to absorb abundant biological resources. What is manifested externally is that some green things continuously flow out of the body of the big tree and enter the abdomen of the male insects, and their abdomen bulges like this. What is stored in its abdomen is the biological resources absorbed from tall trees. After returning to the Zerg Mother Nest and handing those biological resources over to the Zerg Mother Nest, its abdomen will become dry again. Then return to the huge tree and continue to absorb its biological resources. Under the hard work of the male insects, the energy and resource reserves of the insect mother nest continue to grow at a visible rate to the naked eye. This undoubtedly made Yun Feng very happy. As a price of exchange, all the vegetation at the location where Yun Feng landed was cleared by the male insects, turning into a barren wasteland. Any plant with utility value is gnawed and bitten by the male insects, and then dragged back to the insect mother nest to transform into energy and materials. Yun Feng doesn't care about the damage to the environment. Anyway, this planet is not his, even if it is for his own development. What he should sacrifice is still something he has to sacrifice. In the early stages of development, the energy and material reserves in the Zerg Mother Nest continued to increase, which was undoubtedly a good performance, but during this period, something bad also happened. That is the team sent by Yun Feng, who encountered an attack from indigenous creatures on the planet Iguous. Two male insects were trying to bite off a tall plant and pull it back to the insect mother nest to turn it into a biological resource when a large snake, measuring 5 or 6 meters long and about 20 centimeters wide, suddenly emerged from the nearby grass. The big snake bit the male insect that was collecting resources in one bite. Its sharp teeth directly killed the male insect, and then swallowed it as food into its own stomach. The speed of the big snake was very fast, but in just 3 or 4 seconds, at least 5 male insects died in its mouth. And the big snake seemed to have set its sights on Yun Feng, constantly wandering around the area where the male insects were collecting resources, launching surprise attacks and swallowing the male insects into its own stomach. After repeated attacks, at least 20 male insects were devoured by the large snake. This did not stop Yun Feng from getting angry. After receiving injury information from the Zerg Mother Nest, Yun Feng opened his smart brain and began to check the biological information of the large snake. The price of a smart brain in the Galactic Empire is approximately 100,000 stars. This kind of standard item for wealthy disciples is something that people like Yun Feng from low-income families cannot afford. And the intelligent brain in his hand now is not purchased by himself, but one of the supplies given by the college to every participant in the planet trial. It provides detailed records of various biological information within the planet Iguous. It is a detailed biological guidebook that helps students participating in planet trials develop better. It is equivalent to an intermediate student's green-scaled snake. After obtaining information about the large snake attacking the male insects, a hint of calculation flashed in Yun Feng's eyes. Resource collection must not be disturbed by a single animal, which must be eliminated. It must not interfere with the efficiency and speed of the male insect's resource collection. The comprehensive combat power index of the green-scaled snake is equivalent to that of an intermediate warrior, and its instantaneous speed can reach an astonishing 18 meters per second. It must send enough velociraptors to surround and kill it. After Yun Feng had calculated in his heart, he immediately took action. Gather the velociraptor and use the males as bait to attract the green-scale snake to take the bait. Then, use 100 times the number of troops to surround and trap the green-scale snake to death. When the green-scaled snake took the bait, before it could swallow the male insect it had bitten on, it was attacked by the velociraptor, which used its sharp claws to tear the green-scaled snake into pieces. The scattered biological flesh and blood tissue is transported back to the insect mother nest by the male insects and transformed into the necessary biological resources. After a night of development. When Feng took out compressed food and water from the capsule compartment to replenish, he counted the troops he currently had in his Zerg Mother Nest. The current number of male insects has reached 2,146, the number of reconnaissance insects has reached 1184, and the number of velociraptors has reached 913, which is close to 1,000. Having such a large number in just one night, the future development potential of the Zerg Mother Nest is still enormous. The materials and energy required to hatch and nurture a unit from other mother nests far exceed the cost of incubating a single insect. In addition, my 100 times explosive soldier, talent and ability make me the one with the highest number of units among students. Feng thought to himself that his development was not always smooth sailing, and he also encountered attacks from indigenous creatures like the green scale snake, which caused him to lose a lot of troops. This is also because his military strength is not a regular number, as many branches of the army have been depleted for various inexplicable reasons. Today's goal is to break through the 10,000 mark in the population of insects. Thinking that Feng turned his gaze towards the diligent collection of resources by the male insects, he saw a dense network of them constantly carrying various plants in and out of the Zerg Mother Nest, transforming the various biological resources he had collected into the materials and energy needed for the Zerg Mother Nest. Although the male insects lack any combat ability, their presence plays a significant role in the development of the insect mother nest. After all, without them collecting resources, Feng could not have developed so quickly. In just one day and one night, he had thousands of soldiers and insect populations. This cannot be achieved without the hard work and dedication of the male insects. Seeing such a scene, Feng couldn't help but sigh. Building the Zerg Mother Nest day and night, without rest, all devoted to work. They are truly the chosen workers by heaven. Keep working hard, good days are yet to come. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Moroccan Forest Wolf. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Moroccan Forest Wolf. The male insects work hard and execute Feng's orders with utmost respect. They transport all the available resources around them back to the Zerg Mother Nest and convert them into the necessary materials and energy. Accumulate strength for future development. On the way for the male insects to move their biological resources back to the insect mother nest, in the jungle, more than a dozen pairs of green eyes stared closely at the male insects, with a greedy expression in their eyes. I saw a male insect using its sharp jaws to bite off a plant that had practical value. When it picked it up and prepared to return to the Zerg Mother Nest to contribute to it, a big wolf suddenly rushed out from the nearby grass. That big wolf is twice the size of an ordinary wolf and has narrow green eyes. It is named Moroccan Forest Grey Wolf in the Biological Atlas distributed to students participating in planet trials at the Santiago War Academy. The Moroccan Forest Grey Wolf pounced on the male insect and pressed it to the ground, biting through its plump belly in one bite, and then greedily ate it, savoring its deliciousness. This attack on the male insect is not directed towards any indigenous creature, but rather at least a dozen or so individuals. After being culled by a Moroccan Forest Grey Wolf, the same Moroccan Forest Grey Wolf also jumped out of the grass one after another. They threw the male insects who were collecting resources to the ground, bit through their stomachs, and ate them in large bites. A male insect simply couldn't satisfy the wolf pack's appetite, so the suddenly killed wolf pack launched a massacre against the delicious male insects. During this period, the velociraptors who followed the males launched a counterattack against the Moroccan forest wolves. The effect of the counterattack was not good, and only those Moroccan forest wolves opened their mouths, flashing with a blue light. Blue and sharp wind blades shot out from their mouths, shooting towards the swift insects. The wind blade is very fast and extremely sharp, cutting through the bodies of many velociraptors in one go. Blood splattered everywhere, and injuries were not minor. Many velociraptors were directly cut in half by the wind blade, losing their vital features on the spot. Although most insects have strong vitality, crushing attacks are also powerless. The comprehensive combat power index of the Moroccan forest grey wolf is equivalent to that of a high-level human warrior, and it also possesses innate skills such as the wind blade, which enhances its combat power to a higher level. It is completely incomparable to the last attack on the green-scaled snake. Damn it, we have been attacked again, and the velociraptor has suffered significant casualties. What kind of animal did this? Upon receiving information from the Zerg Mother Nest, Feng, who was studying the environment of the planet Iguous in the capsule, was instantly enraged. Battle mode activated. The rapidly increasing number of deaths caused Feng to wake up and quickly enter a combat state. Taking over the operation of the Zerg Mother Nest with self-awareness, and then observing from a visual angle, its eyeballs become densely packed like the compound eyes of flies, like a biological structure composed of countless crystals. It's like a combination of countless small screens, each displaying a different image. These images were all obtained through the vision of the insects under his command. After the battle state is activated, Feng's consciousness takes over the operation of the entire Zerg Mother Nest. He needs to remotely command the swarm of insects under his command to defeat the powerful attacking creatures. It's the Moroccan forest grey wolf. From the perspective of the insect swarm under his command, Feng looked at the attacking indigenous creatures with unparalleled clarity and immediately recognized their identities. And quickly pondering on countermeasures in my heart. The comprehensive combat power index of the Moroccan forest grey wolf is equivalent to that of a high-level human warrior, and it also possesses the innate skill of the wind blade. Its combat power is definitely not comparable to the green-scale snake that attacked yesterday. The Moroccan forest grey wolf can achieve an astonishing 22 meters per second instantaneous movement speed. To use the bug-sea tactic to surround and kill it, sufficient preparation is necessary. A group of damn beasts, if they dare to bully me on Feng's head, then let's show you the strength of my insect swarm. All males should immediately return to the Zerg Mother Nest to minimize unnecessary losses. Feng first gave orders to all the male insects outside to return, and then gave orders to the combat unit raptors. Teams 1, 2, and 3, velociraptors, will go straight to me. Teams 4 and 5, velociraptors, will surround from the left, while teams 6 and 7, velociraptors, will surround from the right, forming an encirclement pattern. Let these beasts have a good experience of the strength of our insect group. The 8th team of velociraptors flanked from behind, while the remaining velociraptors provided support and engaged in ambush operations on all sides. None of these daring attacking beasts could be spared, and they had to be completely annihilated. After continuous development, the number of velociraptors has reached 913. In order to facilitate control and command issuance, Feng has formed a formation of nearly 1,000 velociraptors according to the rule of 100 in a team. A combination of 9 individuals has been formed, from Team 1 to Team 9. As the number of velociraptors increases, they will continue to be arranged according to this rule. Strict organization is the key to the military's victory over the enemy. And how to organize the branches under one's command is also a test for an excellent warlord. If even one's own troops cannot command effectively, then they cannot be considered a qualified warlord. All velociraptors, listen to my command, charge. Under Feng's command, nearly 1,000 velociraptors rushed towards the Moroccan forest grey wolves from all directions, waving their sharp claws and attacking them. Those Moroccan forest wolves were not good at it either. When they saw the velociraptors coming towards them from all directions, they immediately reacted and launched a counterattack. I saw those Moroccan forest grey wolves opening their mouths wide open, with a blue light flashing through them. Blue sharp blades shot out from their mouths, rapidly shooting towards those rushing towards them. The wind blades were extremely fast and sharp, causing a heavy blow to the swift insects charging forward, causing them to fall to the ground and wriggle non-stop. Many swift insects were also directly shot by the wind blades on the spot. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Insect Sea Tactics Showcase Power. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Insect Sea Tactics Showcase Power. The wind blade is an innate skill mastered by the indigenous life of the Moroccan forest grey wolf. Its essence is a certain way of operating energy, which belongs to the extremely shallow application of the path of spiritual thought masters. Spiritual mindfulness master, majoring in spiritual mindfulness. And for martial artists, their main focus is on physical strength. These two cultivation systems each have their own strengths and weaknesses, and there is no distinction between high and low levels. Everyone has their own opinions, and wise people have their own opinions. Both are the most orthodox and mainstream ways of cultivation in the universe. Objectively and fairly speaking, in the early stages of cultivation, the path of spiritual mindfulness is much stronger than that of martial artists who specialize in physical strength. When a spiritual mind master first enters the level of a high-level war god, he can sweep the high-level war gods of ordinary martial arts practitioners, and killing the peak warriors of normal high-level war gods is not a difficult problem. Only those who possess extremely high intelligence, comprehend the mysteries of martial arts, and cultivate martial arts to a deep level can compete with spiritual masters. This is determined by its own cultivation characteristics. In the early stages, the warrior's attack style was mainly melee, while the psychic mind master could use psychic powers to manipulate flying knives for long-range attacks. There is an old saying in the ancient Earth era. 1 inch is long, 1 inch is strong, and 1 inch is short, 1 inch is dangerous. The longer the weapon used by the practitioner, the stronger the effect they can exert. The farther the attack distance, the more they can defeat the enemy. A mental mind master who masters long-range attack techniques is naturally much stronger in early cultivation than a warrior who focuses on melee combat. However, in the middle and later stages, such advantages no longer exist. Those top warriors, even at a distance, can still smash the planet into pieces with a single punch, and their attack distance will no longer be their disadvantage. At such a high level, the competition among practitioners will be about understanding the laws of the universe, and the gap between different paths of practice will be infinitely narrowed. The same goes for warlords. The power of the wind blade did not intimidate those velociraptors. Under the command of Feng, they still bravely charged towards the enemy without fear of death. Although Feng's Zerg Mother Nest core has been rated as the most inferior scrap, it also has its own advantages. Firstly, the low cost of nurturing its troops is its biggest advantage. Secondly, one of the strongest points of the Zerg tribe is that they have no fear and only know how to complete the orders given by Feng. Even if you step on the blood and corpses of your companions, you still have to kill the enemies. The leading velociraptors are shot by the wind blade, but the following velociraptors continue to charge towards the Moroccan forest grey wolves. The innate skill mastered by the Moroccan forest grey wolf, wind blade, is powerful and can kill the velociraptor with just one move, but there is a time interval between each use. The wind blade can only be launched every 3 minutes, and within this time interval, the velociraptors launch a crazy attack on the Moroccan forest grey wolves, which is bound to suffocate these attacking indigenous creatures. Just as a Moroccan forest grey wolf had fired its wind blade, it was in the midst of a skill gap when a velociraptor pounced on it with its sharp teeth biting fiercely. At the same time, the sharp claws also forcefully grabbed and cut through its abdomen. Roar! The Moroccan forest grey wolf roared in pain, relying on its strong strength to forcefully claw and swat the velociraptor that was biting it out. Before it could react, 7 or 8 velociraptors took advantage of this opportunity and pounced on it, biting and grabbing wildly. Later, more velociraptors also rushed forward, quickly tearing the Moroccan forest grey wolf into pieces. Countless bright red flesh and blood biological tissues scattered all over the ground, looking somewhat bloody. Under the command of Yun Feng, not only the Moroccan forest grey wolf was torn to pieces, but more Moroccan forest grey wolves were also looted. In front of the rushing velociraptors, even if their combat power exceeded that of the velociraptors by a large margin, they could not escape the fate of death with an absolute advantage in numbers. In just 7 or 8 minutes, the attacking Moroccan forest wolves fell to the hands of nearly 1,000 velociraptors. 13 Moroccan forest grey wolves launched the attack, but faced with a terrifying number of velociraptors, they quickly retreated. The final result was that 12 Moroccan forest grey wolves were torn into flesh and blood fragments by the fierce velociraptors, and the remaining Moroccan forest grey wolf saw the opportunity and quickly ran away. The Moroccan forest grey wolf, with its strong body and agile speed, rushed out from the encirclement of the velociraptors, covered in bruises and disappearing into the forest in a disheveled state. "Damn it, I even let a beast run away." Yun Feng looked at the fleeing Moroccan forest grey wolf, the disheveled figure disappearing into the forest, with a hint of displeasure in his eyes and a murmur in his heart. "Next time, you should bite their legs first and see how they run even if their legs are bitten off." In the ancient Earth era, there was a saying. If you capture a thief, capture a king first, and if you shoot a man, shoot a horse first. It seems there is still some truth to this. As Yun Feng murmured in his heart, he communicated with the Zerg Mother Nest to clear up the losses and gains in this battle. In this battle, 13 Moroccan forest grey wolves attacked the males, causing them to lose 136 males and 214 velociraptors in battle. Despite significant losses, he successfully annihilated 12 Moroccan forest wolves. The corpses of these Moroccan forest grey wolves can be transformed into excellent resources and energy, transforming into more powerful males and velociraptors. So Yun Feng is not afraid of fighting at all, just afraid that the enemy won't come enough. The combined losses of the male and rapid insects are only 350, which is not a big deal for the current Yun Feng. His goal for today is to increase the number of insects under his command to over 10,000. The 12 Moroccan forest grey wolves that were killed were transformed into biological resources and energy, which happened to be used for his explosive plan. Next time, make sure to leave all those animals behind and never let any more escape situations occur. In the capsule cabin, Yun Feng carefully reflected on his own shortcomings in command in this battle. Having nearly 70 times the strength of the opponent, he managed to make 2 of them escape in the end, and his own combat damage far exceeded that of the opponent. Although the action plan for annihilating the target was ultimately completed, the final outcome of the battle did not satisfy Yun Feng. If it weren't for the sharp tactics of Bug C, Yun Feng would probably have become the enemy's food by now, given the same level of force. After the battle, carefully summarize and reflect on your shortcomings, enhance your experience, and you will definitely become stronger in the next battle. The velociraptors killed 12 attacking Moroccan forest grey wolves. After completing the combat mission, the males immediately approached and dragged the Moroccan forest grey wolves back into the Zerg Mother Nest. One of the characteristics of the Zerg is not to let go of any waste and to maximize the utilization of resources. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Revenge of the Wolf Pack. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Revenge of the Wolf Pack. Safety is the top priority in production. Without a safe production environment, everything else is just empty talk. Pause the hatching of the male worm and scout worm, and use all the resources and energy stored in the Zerg Mother Nest to hatch and breed into the velociraptor. It's said that you get what you pay for. Although the velociraptors may have weaker combat capabilities, they are cheaper in cost and can easily produce a lot. Even if you have a large number of Moroccan forest grey wolves, Yun Feng is not afraid of you. Yun Feng thought to himself and then gave orders to the Zerg Mother Nest. After receiving Yun Feng's command, the Zerg Mother Nest immediately began the incubation work of the velociraptor. With the blessing of its 100 times explosive soldier, talent and ability, the number of velociraptors skyrocketed. In one morning and another afternoon, the number of lost insects skyrocketed from over 700 to over 4,000, more than the combined number of male and scout insects. Looking at the dense swarm of insects, Feng felt a sense of security surrounded by them. I was hit by a wave of Moroccan forest grey wolves all day, so it seems that I was lucky. Feng couldn't help but secretly rejoice as he thought about his experience on that day. Before he could wait for 3 seconds for him to secretly rejoice, he set up around the Zerg Mother Nest, and the detective bug, who was approaching and threatening, issued a warning to him. Warning. Dangerous creatures approaching. Let me see what other animals with no long eyes are approaching. It's the animal that ran away in the morning, but unexpectedly came back to seek revenge. After Feng's spiritual connection to the scout's field of vision, he immediately saw a group of Moroccan forest grey wolves approaching his position in groups. One of them, the Moroccan forest grey wolf, is not the one it escaped from. It is said that wolves are creatures who seek revenge, but now it seems that they are indeed right. They have led their companions to seek revenge against me so quickly. Feng sighed in his heart, then counted the number of attacking wolf packs, with a hint of sharpness flashing in his eyes. 108 beasts, I've beaten the little one, and here comes the old one. The whole family, young and old, have all come to seek revenge on me. But since you're here, let's all become my Zerg Mother Nest resource reserve. All male insects should immediately stop resource collection tasks and return to their mother nest to avoid the impact of combat and reduce unnecessary casualties. All the velociraptors, follow my command and charge towards the wolf pack. Those who dare to attack will not be left behind. Don't let them go, turn them all into our reserve resources. With Feng's command, over 4,000 velociraptors rushed towards the attacking wolf pack from all directions. The formation was truly overwhelming, and the dense swarm of insects gave people an incredibly stunning visual impact. If you are afraid of insects and there are people with dense phobia present, you may be scared to death on the spot. More than 4,000 velociraptors headed towards 108 Moroccan forest grey wolves for slaughter. Although the velociraptor is only equivalent to a junior student, the Moroccan forest wolf is comparable to a senior student and possesses the innate skill of the wind blade. However, with an absolute advantage in quantity, even they find it difficult not to panic. The Moroccan forest wolves were slightly shocked when faced with the oncoming velociraptors, and then quickly reacted. I saw their mouths open, and a blue light flashed through them. Sharp blue wind blades shot out of their mouths, shooting towards the swift insects. The wind blades were incredibly fast and extremely sharp, cutting through the bodies of many velociraptors and splattering blood. Dozens of velociraptors were even cut in half by the wind blade, losing their lives on the spot and unable to even return to their mother's nest for treatment. However, the terror of the wind blade did not intimidate the velociraptors, and they continued to charge forward fearlessly. As long as Feng did not give orders to stop attacking, they would continue to launch attacks on the enemy. There is no fear, no panic, only knowing to complete the task, and even stepping on the blood of their companions to complete Feng's orders. This is the most terrifying aspect of the Zerg, or in other words, the power of the warlord's way. All soldiers born from their mother's nest are born for warlords, and they will not hesitate to execute any orders of their warlords, never giving up or regretting their lives. The velociraptor at the front of the charge died, while the velociraptors behind closely followed and continued to hunt down the Moroccan forest wolves. The situation was overwhelming, even though the individual strength of the Moroccan forest grey wolf far exceeded that of the velociraptors, it still appeared very unbearable under the impact of the huge sea of insects. A Moroccan forest grey wolf had just fired its wind blade and was in the interval between skill cooldowns. 3 velociraptors pounced on it, biting it hard. At the same time, their sharp claws grabbed it hard and cut through its abdomen. The Moroccan forest grey wolf suffered from pain and, with its individual strength far exceeding that of the velociraptor, exerted a strong claw to swat the velociraptor that was biting it out. Before it could react, 7 or 8 other velociraptors took the opportunity to pounce on it, biting and scratching wildly, leaving it covered in bruises and disheveled. Exhausted, they managed to shake off the 7 or 8 velociraptors that had just pounced on them. But soon more and more rapid insects pounced on him, eventually being submerged by a huge swarm of insects. Countless sharp claws and teeth swam over him, tearing him into countless pieces of flesh and blood. 108 Moroccan forest grey wolves fought against over 4,000 velociraptors, with a staggering ratio of 40.1 between the two sides. This means that each Moroccan forest grey wolf will face an attack from 40 velociraptors. Even though the Moroccan forest grey wolves far surpass the velociraptors in terms of individual strength, their ability to play a very limited role in the face of an absolute numerical advantage is not enough to cope with the encirclement of over 4,000 velociraptors. The first wave of the Moroccan forest grey wolves, the Wind Blade, killed over 300 velociraptors with terrifying power. After it unleashed its blade, it quickly retreated in the face of the terrifying number of velociraptors, and the Moroccan forest wolf was constantly torn to pieces by the fierce velociraptors. During this time, many velociraptors were also severely injured and killed, and the number of insect populations continued to decrease in the fighting. End of this chapter.